But I need the kind of technology that's like bing, bang, disappear here, appear over there, disappear there, appear over here. That's the level I need.
Teleportation.
I need some teleportation going
Yeah,
on.
okay.
If I'm there and I'm feeling homesick, put me in the simulation.
Jonesy and Ray, just wondering.
Welcome back to Just Wondering podcast, where we will surprise each other with whatever topics come to mind. We literally know nothing and have made a rule to never research before recording. So buckle up.
We're your hosts. I'm Jones.
And I'm Ray. And Jones, I was just wondering, if you could go to space, would you?
Maybe. Do I get to come back?
That would depend, right? So I
Okay.
think if you went to Mars, I think it's something like a 6-month trip, like 6
Okay.
to 9 month trip to get there. So likely you would stay there to settle and you probably wouldn't come back.
Like that one-way trip that they're planning?
Is there one?
Yeah.
I would like to go.
You're going there to see if it's inhabitable. They're like making all these like pods and stuff, but it sounds absolutely terrifying. I don't want to go there if I can't come back. I would go to space if I could just like go on like a short little trip, you know, like just like see it just to say I did it.
So would you maybe go to the moon or just like go up to like the space station or like a satellite or something just to see the Earth from the outside?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to get too much further than that because I learned about space and it's really big and really scary.
It is, but we're still in space right now.
What? Didn't think of it like that.
It could be like you're just on the moon or on a satellite, and is it gonna be scarier than being on Earth? Probably, because it's not settled and like
Yeah. And like you can't breathe, so if something went wrong with your stuff. I don't think I would like that because I wouldn't want to always have to like be in a suit or like be in something. Like I can't even wear a mask right now in the middle of this pandemic. Can't imagine being in a full spacesuit at all times.
But it might be different. Like what if you could get one of those like glass globe hats, you know? It would be different than having like a piece of fabric. It is still uncomfortable and annoying, but it's not as annoying as having like a flapping piece of fabric that every time you breathe in, it's like trying to go up your nostrils.
It's like being in a spacesuit all the time and like just like floating around. I mean, like I definitely hit my weight loss goals a lot quicker.
You just need to change your gravity. That's the problem.
Aha! I'm
When
going to
can
apply
we
to
go?
that Mars trip now.
Yeah.
It's really scary, like the thought of not coming back or like something happening, but space is so cool. I love learning about space.
I would go to Mars. I one time was listening to a podcast about settling on Mars. So hopefully you guys can remember us better than I can remember this other podcast. But the person said I would go to Mars and I would die on Mars, hopefully not on impact. Honestly, like I don't want to crash land and die immediately on impact. Like I do want to walk around and see it and experience what it would be like.
Do you think the song Gravity would become irrelevant in space? You know, the one that says, I can put the blame on gravity, always pulling down on me.
And if someone else made a playlist, I wouldn't ask them to skip the song.
Yeah, okay, fair. Do you think that if I was going to settle on a planet, it would have to be one of the gas giants? Is Mars the one that you would want to settle on if you were to settle on one?
It just seems like it's the most likely to happen.
Okay.
Because it is the most likely to be terraformed.
I don't know what that word means.
To make it more like Earth, so it is
okay.
habitable. I've read a sci-fi book called Red Mars, and it's about colonizing Mars and terraforming it so that people could live there. And you wouldn't even have to wear your suit all the time at that point because they can make like larger domes.
Oh, I heard about
like
that.
make like a false atmosphere. This sci-fi book was very scientific in a lot of ways, but it is also fiction, right? And so they, I guess, discovered that there was like more frozen water on the planet than they had initially thought. But they also found ways to recycle water and stuff as well, right?
And filtering pee.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool, but I definitely wouldn't want it to be a permanent thing because I do like living on Earth.
I know it's already like not realistic to be moving to Mars right now, but I think the first couple trips to Mars will be permanent trips
Mhm.
because I think it would be really hard on your body to travel for like 6 to 9 months in
Yeah.
space with no gravity, live on a planet that has lower gravity, and then traveling back. Like your body probably wouldn't survive.
They
from
do
being
say
on a
that like your
planet.
body, like you lose a lot of like muscle density, and then you're just
Yeah,
like
you
a
do.
big old jello noodle, like one of those inflatable wacky arm mans or whatever.
And the radiation in space from the sun, because you wouldn't have like the atmosphere of the earth to protect you anymore. So very likely if you come home, you're coming home with at least one form of cancer.
Can you imagine how sunburnt I would get if I was outside of the atmosphere? Do you believe that there is extraterrestrial life?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's very hard to believe that we are the only living beings in the entire universe.
I agree. Most things, if there is no scientific proof, I will not believe it. But aliens and extraterrestrial life has me thinking differently, only because of the vast size of the universe. It seems that there would be no way that we are the only living organism.
It's possible that
Okay.
there's like underwater beings on like a frozen planet,
Oh,
right? You know, or like there could be like at least like microorganisms or something.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't necessarily mean like that there's people. Like,
right.
that's
You're
what
not
they're-
saying like not necessarily intelligent life, but you're
No.
saying there's likely life.
life on other planets. Yeah, like not like your stereotypical ET aliens that are going to come and abduct us. But there's just been like there's so many galaxies that, and then there's other like other suns and like planets that are the like similar distance from the sun and as the earth and would in theory house life, and that stuff to me is so freaking cool.
Yeah, and it's possible that the planets that are in similar positions in their solar system as ours might be in a different cycle in
Mhm.
their I guess like history of their planet or whatever. So like how we've had dinosaurs and now we don't have dinosaurs, like maybe they're at a point in their cycle at this moment where there isn't
Life,
a
but
lot
there
of
could
life
be.
or any life. Yeah, but there could be at a different point.
Like, they're so far away that we wouldn't even be able to know anyway.
Right.
Like if you were somehow able to see life on another planet in like the closest next galaxy, which is Andromeda, but it takes 2.5 million light years to get there. So that means like by the time you get like even looking at it like through like light, if you could see it, that's 2.5 million years old. So if someone
Yeah.
was looking at us, they'd still see dinosaurs.
Whatever was here 2.5 million.
I don't know how long ago were dinosaurs here. They definitely wouldn't see us.
I think that your idea of if it can't be proven by science, it probably doesn't exist. Like that's your general theory or whatever.
Mm.
But in this case, it seems like it would be easier to prove that there is life elsewhere than
And that
to
there
disprove
isn't.
it.
Yeah. Imagine there was another planet that was just like in another dimension. It was just like ours, and they also were intelligent life, and they were also doing a podcast right now. Do you think that one day we will find, like, we'll be able to get to where the other life is, or it's too far?
Well, maybe. So either they get here because potentially they are more advanced than we are
Mhm.
and have the science to get here. And then maybe we can poach their science and be able to travel back to wherever they came from. But I think that at this point, at the speed in which our technology is developing, I don't think in our
Yeah, I
lifetime
don't think so.
we'll get to a point where we're going to go travel to many, many other galaxies and find other life.
Yeah, that's fair, because it's just like takes so long. Like you'd have to have multiple people on like a ship that
Mhm.
could reproduce.
Yeah.
And you'd need like multiple people, obviously, so that there wasn't too much overlap of genes and stuff.
Yeah, or else we have to be able to travel at warp speed.
I think the only thing I do at warp speed is drink beer.
If you were going to go to space, like typically the first group of people you would think are going to be the people who have a certain skill set that would be really good for colonizing.
Oh yeah,
planet.
true.
So
Like
maybe you need-
farmers.
yeah, farmers, engineers,
doctor.
which I mean, like, it could be like an agricultural engineer, and then like doctors, and then like structural engineers. Is that something? I don't know. And I don't have any of those skills.
But you are dedicated and you're a quick learner. So.
And also, I think that another skill that could be important is being even-tempered and like diplomatic.
Yeah.
If you're colonizing a different planet, you're going to need people from all different countries here. And you're going to need people who are kind of the diplomats to be able to figure out how to create a new colony altogether. Because maybe you don't want to follow the same format as we have on Earth. Maybe you need to think of a different way of building a civilization or something.
New life.
Yeah, maybe I could have like the skills to help conceptualize a new kind of civilization and help organize the people to fall into that kind of a plan.
I don't think that I have any of those skills, but I would argue that everyone needs a little bit of humor, so I could be there for the laughs. Okay, Mish, would you go to another planet if you could?
Oh, for sure. I'd go other planets, but I don't know, like, I don't even like leaving Canada, if I'm being totally honest. The thing I love about America is that it's just like Canada. But if I go too far, some people are telling me to come back and visit India, I'm like, that's a lot right now emotionally.
Far. Yeah.
It's far, and then the culture shock is so different. Like, people think America and Canada are different. Go to India.
Do you think the culture shock on like if you went to Mars would be like that shocking, or would it be absent? Like, do you think that would be harder or easier?
So Mars, I don't know if they're like us. I don't want to go. If they're a very advanced civilization, sure, because then they'd probably take care of us.
But what if we are the civilization? Like,
if it's us, I remember Bill Burr was saying this about hair transplants. It's like, I'll do it when it's really good. But I don't want to be the first idiots that do it and then everyone can see it's shitty.
I'll go to Mars first, and I'll make Mars fun, and then you guys can come once it's fun.
Hey, make Mars fun again. Like, I want the advanced shit. First of all, I'm not sitting in the space. Like, okay, for fun, do the simulation of the spaceship. But I need the kind of technology that's like bing, bang. Disappear here, appear over there, disappear there, appear over here. That's the level
teleportation.
I need some teleportation going on.
Okay.
If I'm there and I'm feeling homesick, put me in the simulation. It's a big to-do, and I'm doing stuff already, so I don't need to make that.
I'm too busy to go to Mars.
I can't go to Mars.
It's true.
People would miss you. It's true.
The culture needs
me.
You
are needed. You're needed on Earth.
You got shit going on here. You can go to Mars? Yeah. The travel time's a lot. And also, COVID has really taught us that these airplanes, just cut it. If you really got to go. But, like, some people just jet setting around for nothing. Come on, guys. We're destroying this planet.
Do you believe that there is life on other planets? Not necessarily intelligent life, but, like, something.
Oh, life for sure. Okay. But intelligent life, this is wild, because the New York Times just published that they saw that the U.S. military saw a UFO. Dude, aliens have been found. Proof. Done. And he was a military guy, and it was all officials on the radar. It's pretty intense, man. They're all like yelling about it, the army guys. It's like marine audio that they release and video of the radar, and they're like, "What is that?" Okay, and then the guy's flying is like, "All right, I'm gonna go in. I'm moving into the sphere or whatever." And he goes closer. He's like, he was talking about how, like, the way it flew was impossible. It's classic UFO story. But official, legit
business. Okay.
This has made me think about, when you watch the radar on Christmas Eve to see where Santa is. Santa radar.
Maybe it's Santa. Maybe Santa's
I think it might be.
He's going a little break.
Santa.
Must be Santa. People are wondering why we're not traveling space yet. You know why? Because we're not meditating yet. Space travel is going to be meditation based. I'll tell you that right now. Just a prediction. So, just doing work for the community.
That's it. All right, Ray. What are you drinking?
Today I am drinking Canuck from Great Lakes Brewery. What are you drinking?
No surprise there. It's Miller time. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
All right, we want to know what you think. And we also want to know what you're drinking.
Yes, we do. You can email us at justwonderingpodcast.ray@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at just.wondering.podcast. Looking forward to hearing you. Do it.
Do it.
You know how aliens are like portrayed almost human-like, but with like less fingers and those big heads and no
Yep.
hair. I think evolutionarily, humans are becoming that.
Yep.
Right? Like we had 6 fingers before. We had more hair before. So I think, what if those aliens are really just humans from the future that have traveled back in time? Maybe they're not aliens, they're humans that have learned time travel rather than space travel.
Okay. Yep. That's like, that's an angle.